What's going on, everyone? It's Mike, it's John back again. This is your match preview. It's Leicester against Everton at whatever Leicester Stadium's called now. I can't remember.
The King Power Stadium.
There you go. I know you don't watch the press conferences from Mr. Dyche. I know you don't. I have watched a little bit of it. I'm not going to say I watched all of it. But there appears to be quite a few maybes, some injuries. There's a bit of a list that he went through at the start. I don't know who's going to play tomorrow, John.
Well,
I don't know who's going to play tomorrow. I ain't got a clue.
Well, so you've sent me the list, because obviously I didn't listen to him and I haven't really looked at anything to do with Everton since the other night. Now, whether I'm wrong to say this, not bothered anymore. I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not disputing that list hasn't got some injuries or some illness in it. But I did see something today from someone who we know that there's a few players not happy in the Finch Farm dressing room and the Goodison Park dressing room. They're not happy with his tactics. They're not happy with his man management. So once you start seeing reports like that, if they're true, it's very rare when a manager starts losing the dressing room, he gets it back. So I'm not saying there isn't some injuries and I'm not saying there isn't some illness, because I've been listening to the cricket. I've been watching the cricket today and stuff like that and other sports. And there is illness going round. There's a bug going round. But I honestly think some of them players in that list that you've sent me have just been told to train away from the first team, because certain ones of them are probably the ones who have caused unrest, stood up to him. And I knew this was going to come if it's true. I knew it was going to come with his tactics, with, the way we're losing games. And I don't know. I can't give you a team who's going to play against Leicester. So normally we will give our team. I can't give you one. I really can't give you one. Can't hear you.
Sorry. I'm really concerned, if I'm being honest, about the situation, because there's multiple reports that players have fell out with him. It's very obvious that a lot of the fans have turned on him. I saw a poll earlier that was suggesting, Moyes until the end of the season would be probably everyone's best choice, and then start again from a stressed new stadium, all of that stuff next season. I kind of don't know how I feel, if you get what I mean. Like, I'm not going into games anymore with you actually hit the nail on the head in the other video, but emotion. Like, it's really weird. It's like, I just don't know how I feel. Like, we do these match previews, right? And after the game, we'll do the match reaction. And, how it's been this season is we've both been losing our head. We've both been going, it's not good enough. We've both been going, sack the manager. We've both been saying the players aren't good enough, blah, 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 blah. And it's the same every week. But it doesn't matter whether there's injuries. It doesn't matter if there's a full strength squad. I've got to the point now where I don't trust him, irrespective of who is available. And now, it's a horrible situation to be in, where the manager that come in 20 months ago, whatever it was, and did his first press conference, and I think we played Arsenal at home on the Saturday, and he come in on like the Tuesday or Wednesday, and we won 1-0. And he made a big change in that game. He brought in Dwight McNeil, who hadn't played a lot under Lampard, if I remember. But, we made a couple of other changes, and we ground out a really gritty 1-0 win. And he reassured me. Everything he said last season, he almost reassured me. It's like listening to, and everyone knows how close I was to my granddad. But it was almost like listening to someone that I could respect, and I could get behind, and I could trust, and I could back. And I feel like Sean Dyche, I feel like he's alienated that relationship. That's the only way I can describe it. I feel like he's got that that love and tenderness that I almost got, was listening to him and supporting him with, and has flipped it around. You know, there was the comment he made last year when I'd gone on Twitter quite publicly and criticised him, and he actually got brought up in his press conference. There's all the times when he's commented about the fans this season. There's been times where, you know, it's only recently when we started to say, yeah, I'm the manager, I'll take responsibility. But I sit there and I think, this is also your team. You know, you keep talking about the past, you keep talking about Carlo Ancelotti, because that was also apparently brought up in his press conference today. And I don't get it. You know, talking about I've got a big centre forward and I've got a strong defence. All we want, I don't care if we play the ugliest football in the world, as long as we get 3 points. That's it. That's the be all and end all. If you get 3 points 38 times a season, you win the league. Now, you can do that by winning 1-0. I'm not saying Everton are clearly good enough to do that. We're clearly not. But my point is, if you can't change and develop and play this more expansive football that you said you were going to do, and you need to go back to playing, throw the ball on, just have Dwight McNeil and Jack Hammerson playing off the shoulder, have the Corvette playing off Calvert-Lewin. If that's what makes Dyche feels comfortable to get 3 points, then do it. Because I'll support any manager that wins games of football for Everton Football Club. But at this moment in time, we've got a manager that, in my opinion, has lost his own way.
You say he's been there for 20 months, and in that 20 months, this is the first time that he's actually come out and said he's been to blame for some of the results because of his substitutions, so he needs to get them right. We went on a run of winning 1 game in 15, and not once did he turn around with that comment and say, I need to look at myself, it's also on me. 1 win in 15. So when you look at it and you say you don't know what he's saying anymore, you don't know where he's coming from, all fans are feeling like, well, the majority of us are feeling like that. There is still 1 or 2. But if we're feeling like that, Michael, and then players are seeing him every day, how do you think they're feeling if he's not making any sense to us with the comments that he's making? How do you think the players are supposed to take anything on board? Now, you say he brought up Carlo Ancelotti. By all accounts, he did. But he's talking about the past again. And, it's not fully his team. I'm not being funny. I'm sure I've seen a stat that he's signed of our squad. I think he's signed, is it 11 out of 14 or something like that? So
I think he signed 11 players, and he's got 3 ex-players, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, and he brought Jack Harrison back, who we'd had on loan. He's got Tarkowski and Keane. You're taking the piss. So it is his team, so he doesn't actually know what he's saying. It is the majority of it is his team. Now, I think he's worried himself because his contract's up at the end of the year and there's no talk of him being given a new contract. There's absolutely no talks happened. I watched a podcast yesterday, or a part of it, where a certain person said that there's no talks happened in the Everton boardroom about relieving him of his duties. So he's still turning up to work every day, knowing his job's safe. How can you not have the people at the top, and we don't even know who they are anymore, how can they have not had murmurings and little whispers and talks and it being brought up that he's not doing a good job? So we go into this Leicester game this weekend where apparently all these injuries, a game again that me and Frankie are travelling to, and I'll be honest with you now, I'm worried for it. I'm worried for it because I'm telling you, Leicester are a better team than what Southampton are. Southampton have beat us. Away from home, we're not very good. we're not very good defensively, and Leicester have got players who can hurt you. We're not scoring. I mean, we're scoring more goals than normal, but we're still missing chances. We're still getting beaten easily in the box. We're still letting the opposition's midfield cut through us like a knife through butter, even though we have 10 men the majority of the time behind the ball. You've got fullbacks who are giving the opposition the space of the moon. They're giving them that much space. You can't afford to do that against teams like Leicester, who hit you on the break, who've got fast players, who will get in behind you. So I'm worried. And I know we've gone on about Dice again, and it's supposed to be a match preview. But as you said before, we don't know what to say in these previews anymore. You know, we've ranted most match reactions. We've ranted on most match debriefs on the Sunday, or if it's a midweek game. But when it comes to our match previews, we're struggling because it's not a rant. And I said this to you the other day, it's so much easier to do a video when we get beat. But because the emotion of Everton Football Club has been zapped out of me and you and all other Everton fans because of the inept players on the pitch and the dinosaur of a manager that we've got, I have no emotion left to talk positive about a game we've got coming up. I have no emotion anymore.
Yeah, I was thinking this. I was thinking about this. When was the last time we went into a game of football and were 100% positive we would win?
I can't remember. And I'm telling you now, only for Frankie wanting to go Saturday, I wouldn't bother. I really wouldn't bother.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And that is the thing. You know, like I go into every game. Mate, I even do it for home games. I mean, I literally did a 230-mile round trip on a Tuesday night to watch us lose in the Carabao Cup to Southampton. I did a 225, 30-mile, whatever it works out to Doncaster in the Carabao Cup. And I have no confidence that we can beat anyone. And we go into this Leicester game, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what side he's going to play. I don't know what strikers are available or not available. I don't know what team looks like. I'm just concerned. But listen, it's the hope that kills you. So even before we go into the game, you sit there and you go, I wonder if that season will start this week. I wonder if we'll get that result. And even that is dwindling away. Even that is me going, I can't see us getting another win in the next 3 games. I honestly am worried that after 7 or 8 games in the Premier League, we're going to have 1 point. That's how bad I think it could get. Because I look at the fixtures that we've got. I'm not convinced we're going to get a winner at Leicester. We might pick up a point. We might get a point at home at Crystal Palace, but I'm not convinced we'll win. And I don't think we beat Newcastle. So I sit there and think, at max, we might get 2. How bad is that?
Newcastle will have a field day, so that will be 2 points in 7 games. So out of a possible 21 points, that's 2. That's 19 points dropped with no, with shipping shitloads of goals, because we still will happen that we can see goal after goal after goal, week after week after week. You look, I know it's not a preview about Newcastle, but the way we're looking at it, Newcastle have got players who can hit you. I'm not saying Leicester in the same ballpark as Newcastle, by the way, but whoever we play, whether it be Bournemouth, whether it be Southampton, Brighton, Crystal Palace, Leicester, Newcastle, how positive are you and all you people watching this match preview confident of keeping a clean sheet against any of them teams? Because I'm not confident at all. I honestly see us conceding goals in every one of them fixtures that we've got coming up.
Well, I'll just read the next 6 fixtures to you. Leicester away, Palace at home, Newcastle at home, Ipswich away, Fulham at home, Southampton away.
Well, how many games there do you see us getting 3 points from?
John, that's what really worries me.
I think Ipswich can give us a game of Portman Road, Michael.
Mate, the way we've been playing, I honestly, if you was to read them fixtures out to me now, I am struggling to go, yeah, we're going to win that one.
But he'll still be there, in my opinion. And, you know, I heard you mention about Moyes coming back, and people are mentioning Moyes back. What people need to realise, if Sean Dyche just gets sacked, it will be, in my opinion, an interim manager till the end of the season, because there's no way they're going to bring in a long-term manager while the takeover's not set in stone and while it hasn't gone through, because whoever buys the club might come in and go, well, don't really fancy that manager. So then we've got to pay another manager off, and then we've got to bring another manager in. So if he does go, it is going to be only an interim manager, someone like a David Moyes, in my opinion. If he proves himself till the end of the season, then you never know what can happen. Don't think it's going to be a full-time appointment, in my opinion.
So we've got Leicester this weekend. You know, they've got players like Jamie Vardy, Ricardo Pereira,
DD.
Indeed, who we were linked with. Yeah, they've got various decent players, obviously. What's the score going to be, John?
5-0 Leicester.
Shut up. I think we get beat. I'm going to go 3-1 Leicester.
Jamie Vardy gets hat-trick.
Okay. I'm going to go
3-2.
Shut up. You'll be going.
I'm going to go 2-1 Everton.
Fuck me. If you had a bang on the head today.
Do you know what it is, right?
The hope.
I genuinely believe that when you're at the bottom, and I believe we are at the bottom,
We are.
there is only one way, and that is up. And if we could beat Leicester with a depleted team, I just think it gives us hope.
Do you think Sheffield United were thinking the same thing for the majority of last season, where they thought we're at the bottom?
But I like to believe, but whether this is, you know, there'll be fans from other channels that will put me right on this. But I like to think that we are not Sheffield United. We are not an Ipswich. We're not, you know, a Southampton. It doesn't mean very little because of the success over the last, 35, 40 years. But we are still Everton Football Club. And even when we've been at the bottom, we've found a way to get up. And I just think this season, this might be the bottom.
So you don't think we stay up?
If we lose Leicester,
people go.
No, I don't think it keeps up.
I think he's lost the hunger for the job. Do you know Everton out the 5 top leagues in Europe, Everton's stats are the worst out of everyone for goals conceded, chances against them?
I think it's bigger than that. I don't just think he's lost the hunger for the job. I think some of the fans have lost the fight to keep, you know, on.
I've lost the fight. I've lost the will.
That's what I mean. And at some point, we're going to start pulling back together, is what I mean. We'll find a way. We always do. That's why I think we might win. It's hope. It's definitely hope, John. You know, my head is saying 2-0 Leicester, but my heart is telling me that Everton win 2-1.
We stay up if there's a managerial change. Now, I know I'm going to get shot down for this. I know I am, but I'm going to say it because I am. Right? I guarantee everyone who's watching this channel, and you, Michael, and I've said this to you, you know what I'm going to say. If Sam Allardyce was in, and I'm not saying I want Sam Allardyce back, and I'm sure I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again, and I mean it. If Sam Allardyce had this team, we would not be bottom of the Premier League. We would not have conceded 13 goals in 4 games. He wouldn't be playing square pegs in round holes. It'd be shit to watch, but it's shit to watch anyway under Sean Dyche. It's shit football anyway. I will gladly watch, as you pointed out before. I'd watch 38 games of absolute dog shit football if it meant us challenging for something, whether it be I know that's a cup game, but like top 6, top 7, 10th, just so we didn't have to go through this. I would watch shit football for one season if our heads didn't have to fall off just once. And that's what you'd get with the likes of Sam Allardyce. But I guarantee you, when he was at Everton and he finished 8th, he had a worse squad of players than what we've got now. He had Ken Tosin, he had Theo Walcott, players like that. He had a worse squad of players than what's there now. So this manager either gets the hunger back for the job, that he's the 4th, 5th, the 6th highest paid manager in the Premier League, and starts trying to get on with the players and changing his tactics and having a plan B and having new ideas and sitting around with his backroom staff, seeing what he can do, going back to basics, as you pointed out before, because his basics have worked. April last year, I think we won 3 on the run or whatever it was. But he went back to basics after only winning 1 in 15. I don't give a shit if that basics is awful football. I just want to see Everton climbing the league. Because at the minute, everything around the club, the fans are falling out of love with it. The players look like they've got no hunger to put the blue shirt on. He's standing there. He's talking absolute rubbish in his press conferences that he's acting to me, as I say, like he doesn't want to be there. He wants the 9 months, 8 months left, what he's got to pay off his contract. So until all that comes together and the fan base can come together, I've heard the lives on X, whatever they're called, Everton fans screaming and arguing with each other. I've seen people giving certain people on Twitter absolute dog's abuse because they've got an opinion. The Everton fan base, this is probably one of the most I've seen a divide. Now, we shouldn't be like that. We need to come together as a fan base and get behind this team and get behind this club. Otherwise, this is the season, as you said, we could possibly go. But how do you bring a fan base back together when you're hearing stories like, we've got this many injuries and this many illnesses, and you've got me doubting that? And is it players who have called him out and he's made them train on their own? I don't know that. It's just my conspiracy theory in me. You've got things like he's lost the dressing room. Until there's a togetherness from the top to the bottom, including the fan base, we're going to struggle. But I don't expect the fan base to come together while we're watching this dross that we're watching on the pitch.
Yeah. I don't disagree with any of that. Right. I think that's enough. I mean, that's probably been the longest match preview we've done in 5 years. I mean, it's 25-minute long match preview. Jesus Christ. Usually it's 9 minutes. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, guys. If you go in, you'll be amazing as always. You'll sing non-stop. You'll cheer the boys on and hope. Let's just hope that the season starts tomorrow, because
Saturday.
It's Saturday, yeah. Because if it doesn't, then
Everyone's my birthday tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
A little
Brilliant.
donation now.
If there's any donations to come in, it's going to the GoFundMe page to get rid of the dinosaur of a manager.
Bless him. Well, if you do see John and Frankie around the place on Saturday, make sure you buy him a pint. Alright, he's turning 12. Guys, we'll leave it there.
Big vodka.
Brilliant. Right, shut up.
But I'll leave it there. Hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Peace.